Today I went on a run and a quote popped up in my mind, and it went like this: if you don't take back control of your life, someone else will. And as a profound way, it hit me. Let me break this down. I've came up with this rule, and it's about the 80% rule of taking back of your life. And about this 80% rule is you want to find every means possible to cut down time, whether it's doing an unnecessary job that you don't want to do, finding ways to shortcut things so that way you can be able to get your time back, whether it's food prepping, going to sleep early, getting up early, whatever you can do to get back and maximizing most of your time back to yourself. It might not even be 80%. Maybe you have to start with trying to get 50% back of your time. Then it's a start. But the goal is to try to get to 80% because if you can get 80% of your time back throughout the day, you're going to see more changes and a better life improvement. Let me give you an example. I was working two jobs. Both were about equivalent to full time, combined together, equivalent to full time. And I decided to, within last week, to quit my other part time job and just keep one. The other one pays a little bit more, and I also only have to work about 4.5 to 5 hours, right? It's FedEx. The other job was a retail, and they have me scheduled about 8 hours, anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. It just depends on what they have me scheduled. Plus, it's not consistent. I choose to let that one go. Once I had let that job go and I decided to take a leap of faith, it was scary a little bit. I was a little nervous because it was supplemental income that I wanted to keep along because it made it comfortable. But once I let it go, I realized number one, I'm still living. Number two, I'm able to have more time to focus on self development and actually, most importantly, build up my brand. Quitting this job was tremendous because it gave me back control of my life. It allowed me to have free time to actually exercise, to go on a run. I have not actually got out and ran. That's crazy. Today was a day where I needed change. I needed change because I was not feeling my best 100% self. I was always tired because I was working two jobs, and then when I come home, I would do YouTube. I would never have time to actually sit down and learn more things, to self development, to be interested to pick up a book because mentally I was so tired from doing three type of jobs: YouTube and working other two jobs. It even got to the point where I wasn't cleaning up as frequently like I was used to around the house. That all changed when I decided to put my time back into my hand and let go of that job. What we don't understand is you only have 24 hours out of the day. And when you overexert yourself in certain areas, something is going to lack. Some of the withdrawals that I had was that I couldn't clean up around the house like I wanted to frequently. I couldn't exercise to get better in shape, to also not being continuously tired. And I didn't have much time to put focus on the content that I wanted to build on my multiple channels that I own. If you feel like you're stuck in a situation where you need to get out of your situation, let me give you a few recommendations. Number one, if you work a job that is consistent and maybe you go in at 9 o'clock in the morning or later on, perhaps you want to go sleep early so you can get up around 5 o'clock in the morning to have a little bit of time in between to kind of learn. Even if you had 2 hours getting back for you, that's 2 hours that you have till you can build towards a better future. Maybe it's going out to eat. If you buy food in bulk and cook at home and food prep, then you're not spending money outside, which allows you to cut your hours back working extra jobs. Maybe you need to learn and spend some time getting a high paying skill so you can get a high paying job, which allows you to work less harder and use up less time. Many of the successful people that I've noted and studied from all say the same thing: is they just want their time back, and what they do is they use the money as tool and the leverage to pay for that so they can get their time back. Whether they're hiring a nanny, whether they're hiring people to cut their yards, whether they're hiring people to do certain tasks in their jobs that they don't need to do and they delegate it to. This is how they save their time back. Time is more valuable than money. And it hit me when I realized that I've been this whole time working for money on a consistent basis when I really should have been looking at what can I do so I can get my time back, so that way money is not always a priority and I can focus on solving bigger problems. Then at least I'll be more fulfilled, and on top of that, more opportunities will come, which will lead to me still getting paid. It's not gonna be easy, which I understand, but it's something that we should all strive for to have a better, fulfilling life. If you can get 80% of your time back throughout the day, and then the 20% delegated to other things, then you're good, right? And how you can do this is, like I said, I had spent about a lot of my hours working. I got it to where now I'm only working about 5 hours average out of the day on the weekdays. And then I'm off the weekends with the job I'm working. It pays good. It's a $20 hour job. So it pays good to where I can be able to sustain and pay my bills. And that's it. I can't go out and do all the other stuff, but that's fine. I just need to live below my means and pay the rent and the things I need so I can focus on self development and building my brand. So if you can't get to that 8%, don't worry. Try to get to 50%. If you can get 50% of your time back, then you are making huge progress, because not only that, most people out of the day don't even have 50% of their time back. They get only 25%. Yeah. If you get an extra 25% increase, which is maybe just an extra 3 hours out of the day, then you're golden, because that 3 hours can lead to you being more productive towards your self development. Remember, if you don't take the initiative to give your life back on track, someone else is going to direct it somewhere else. You might have to eliminate a lot of distractions that are taking up your time. You might have to pre plan ahead a few days out of the week so that way you have things more control in your environment. It might comes where you have to communicate with the spouse that, hey, I'm not going to be able to be focused in these areas, but give me some time. I'll help catch up on certain other things. It's all about building and figuring out what works for you. Your scenario might be different than mine's, and my scenario might be different from other people's, but that's okay. Everyone has a certain advantage. Figure out what's your advantage and then use that to strike an opportunity to get into a gold mine. There's nothing better than to be outside and to take the moment to be in peace and be in the moment. There's nothing better than to have your time back so you can focus on making a better life for you and your family. It's not the money you're chasing, it's actually your time back. And when you can figure out how to gain that back, you will find more fulfillment to fill something else into your life that's going to actually be productive and positive. Again, it might seem like it's an overstretch to say, how can I get 80% of my time back? But it is possible. It is possible. In fact, there are people out there who is making that possible. And it's not that you just not doing anything with the 80% and you just willingly just chilling, not doing nothing. It's about what the 80% that you taking back that you can fulfill in your life to put towards. The 80% is I can take that 80% that and from something that I don't want to do and put it to something that I do want to do. That's what I mean. And if you can get to where you building up from 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, then you will be winning. You will find a way, but you have to work up to it. Work up to it. It might not because I understand. Realistically, not everybody can go from 80% right away, like just instant. Not everybody can do that. I understand. Everyone's situation is different. You might have kids. You might have a house that you own. You might have a lot of credit card debts. You might have something that is holding you back, but you can do it by taking initiative steps and say, hey, I might not can do 80%, but I can start off with 40% and work my way up. It's about taking the initiative and the steps, because once you do it in the small steps, the bigger steps you can be able to fit in and start doing those. And eventually it will grow to where you will able to do and get to having 80% of your time back and fulfill it into somewhere that you want to be at. As you do these small wins and goals, it's going to motivate you. It's going to make you feel like you got something to do and work towards. It's going to get you motivated. It's going to make you feel like you have hope. It's going to make you feel like you have progress in your life. And ultimately, this helps keep your sanity so you don't do something that you regret later. And what I mean is, instead of getting tired of a job, working 9 to 5 and working ridiculous amount of hours overtime, and then you just quit because you're just overworked and overexerted, Instead, if you would go by step on how to get your time back, maybe it will help to make better decisions. Peace of mind is what you're striving for. It's what we should all strive for. Peace of mind is just you giving back your quality time. Because when you have back your quality time, you will be more balanced and you will find more better meanings to fulfill in your life when you have that good time. A lot of people do have a lot of time, but maybe they just use it in the wrong way. And that's why they in the situation that they're in where they're not happy, but they don't feel fulfilled because they're just mismanaging their time. I can talk about that in another video. If you guys enjoyed this, give a thumbs up and also just hit that subscribe button. I like to make dope content. I actually have a main channel that's over 10K subscribers now, and I just like making videos and just doing cool stuff. And I figure also it's always been a thing of mine where I wanted to make a video on a channel that I just give out great advice on things that I've just think about in my mind all the time throughout the day. If you enjoy this, man, let me know what resonate with you. See you on the next one.